Hey everyone, and welcome to Holding the Line with Got Your Six Counseling. I'm Peggy, and this is Brittany. This is a space where we get real about the shit nobody wants to talk about: mental health, life, trauma, healing, and everything in between. Sometimes we get clinical, sometimes we get messy, but it's always honest. Quick reminder, this podcast isn't therapy, and it's not a substitute for professional care. We're not here to provide therapy, diagnose, or treat. If you're struggling with mental health, please reach out to a licensed provider. You don't have to go through it alone. We've got your six. We're just two trauma therapists showing up as humans first, ready to have real, unfiltered conversations about the stuff that matters. We're here to break the stigma, share what we've learned from both sides of the therapy room, and talk about the challenges people face every day, especially in the veteran and first responder communities. Whether it's trauma, burnout, relationships, identity, or just getting through the week, we believe that these conversations matter. They deserve space, and that's what we're holding the line for. So let's dive in.
Welcome back to our first episode of 2026. I forgot to look to see what number episode this would be.
This is episode 1, season 2.
All right, yeah, episode 1, season 2, first one of 2026.
Same chaos, new season.
Yeah, see, I mean, we're already starting right off the bat with the chaos. If you're new here, welcome. We are Brittany, and that's Peggy with the blue hair, her freshly done blue hair today. We are your hosts for Holding the Line with Got Your Six, and we are here to talk about the shit that nobody else wants to talk about.
First of all, I want to talk about the shit that was this month. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but whatever is going on in the air, whatever we have ticked off, but I want it to go away.
It was that brain spotting thing. You keep saying it was a bunch of women with wands, and we opened a portal to hell because we've all been struggling. My voice is messed up. Peggy was near death. I was near death. We were all very sick. Not literally, just it was a struggle. We all had the plague.
Yes. And I'm so on that note, everybody, wash your dirty hands. Wash your hands. I cannot reiterate that
And
enough.
stay away.
If you have a cough or cooties or anything like that, don't go around spreading it to everybody. Keep your nasty cooties at home where they belong.
On that note, if you are sick or even think you are sick, please do not send your kids to school or show up to your therapy or doctor's appointments or other social engagements because you are sick. I need you to go back to that COVID mindset of like quarantine, stay home. Because the stomach flu is not, absolutely not. Okay. I can't abide it. Can't abide it. So what is our purpose season theme this year?
Well, I mean, this is Holding the Line, so let's kind of reintroduce what we are this season again. We are here to not diagnose, we're not here to even what? We're giving some clinical snippets and some space for those things, but we are not your therapist.
Yeah, we're not your therapist because you're listening, unless you'd like us to be, and then you know where to find us. Also, psycho ed. We're telling you guys the stuff that like no one else has bothered to, or maybe you didn't know, because I sit with so many people sometimes and they're like, wow, I never knew this about trauma, or I never knew this about anxiety or depression or whatever. And maybe their previous therapist that wasn't their jam, or maybe they've never been to therapy before. So that's what we want to do. We want to target the population that we work with, which is the veterans, the first responders, and law enforcement. But that doesn't mean if you're not one of those, you can't listen, because we are very trauma focused and we are very chaotic. So you'll probably fit right in regardless.
But just discuss the hard things, what happens after the call, the shift, the career, the role. I think just setting the tone for more deeper and honest conversations about what it is like to be a therapist or to serve those that are serving, our veteran population, first responders, I think even healthcare, because I can consider a lot of those to be in that first responder role.
Yeah, I mean, nurses for sure. Like, regardless of, I don't want to say like just ER nurses, but like ER nurses, ICU nurses, like they do hard stuff too. And maybe they're not acknowledged enough as part of a community that would struggle. ER doctors, veterinarians, all these people, medical professionals,
Yeah.
and other
Yeah,
therapists.
I think they're left out of the conversation a whole lot when it comes to like even trauma and trauma responses even.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know out of any of my, I don't know that I have a single like nurse on my caseload. And I don't know if that's because they don't have time or they don't feel like they need it, but if you need it, we're here. Um, so season one was phenomenal. I loved every episode that we did.
I think it was a learning experience for sure.
100%. 100%. And I love you guys for liking and following
Just
and
rolling with those
like even we
punches.
had some
Yeah.
trolls. Right. We had some trolls, and I was like, maybe does this mean we've made it, right? Like, maybe you haven't made it in this world until you have a couple of trolls. Shout out to that lady, I forgot her
Hmm.
name, who shut our trolls down. She is a legend,
I loved
okay?
it.
If you
I
know, you
loved
know.
it.
Um, we had lots of, topics we talked about. They were not in any specific order. We were just kind of all over the
I
place.
think because again,
We're gonna
we're
try to do better
learning
about that
because
this year.
we're not professionals at this. We are professional licensed clinicians, but we are not professional podcasters by any means necessary.
I think that's what makes this so good, though, that like it's conversational. It's not really script. I mean, Peggy does make lots of outlines because otherwise we would not be on topic, but it's conversational. We just talk about these things so you guys can hear it in a very honest way. Um, but we did talk about a lot of stuff. I looked back at our episode titles earlier today and I was like, wow, we were really all over the place. Like we did good in the beginning, right? We had our little introduction with Dr. Ruck. And then we did our man up one with the guys, right? Josh and Timothy. And then we were like, what is therapy? And then it was just like steadily like off the train tracks after that, right? We're talking about dogs and we're talking about first responders. And then we had Sean Koss on here, which was absolutely amazing. Um, inside of that, or while I'm thinking about that, I never thought he would respond. It was totally a shot in the dark where I was like, I'm just gonna see if he wants to come on here because you have his books, I have his book, I have his art everywhere. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, what? Okay. And then he turned out to be like the most humblest dude ever. So um, that was probably one of my favorites. The other favorite of mine was when we did the play therapy one and seasonal depression, pumpkin spice. That one, so many people are like, I was crying laughing. And I'm like, I cry laughing watching it. Okay. Like, we are funny bitches. It's fine.
Mhm. I will say I still like buzzwords just because of the reactions
Yes.
that I got to see out of Christina the entire time was the best.
Yeah. Because she didn't know what was next, right? Like, we were just kind of saying them out loud. She was like, oh,
And then just having the guys on because for
yeah.
us it was we're getting to see more sides of our husbands and then they're getting to be vulnerable, which is difficult
Yeah.
for them in a lot of ways. And to do it like, hey, we're forcing you to do this. You got voluntold. I'm sorry.
I didn't really have to volunteer Timothy. I was just like, hey, should we, let's do this. And he's like, okay, do I look okay? Um, well, yeah. We had lots of guys on, right? We had Josh, we had Tim. Josh was on there twice because he was there
Ryan.
with you and Christina and Ryan. We had my sister. We had Adia. I hope I said her name right. I am so sorry if I didn't. With Christina when they were talking about the dogs and trauma. We had Mary from Slipknot's
Yeah, the
foundation, which is the Taylor Foundation.
yep.
Look, it left me, but it came back. That was amazing because I didn't even know that was a
We
thing.
had one of
So
our baby
we had
students.
we had Abby on there. And so this year I'm working on some pretty cool special guests, I guess.
Yep. But it was just
It's in the
it was
works.
normalizing a lot of things. Like, being a baby student,
Yeah.
normalizing feelings from some actual men, since, we're not those. Just giving permission to say things out loud that we know that's
Yeah.
in the spaces. So I think
I
season
feel
one
like
was about
just
awareness and permission, even.
yeah, and like fighting the stigma, like you said, like giving it permission, like just giving it the space of like so for so long I feel like people are like, "Oh, well, you're fine because you don't have visible wounds," but people are really truly suffering and having a hard time, and we're putting words and, information behind that for people to like so we can back it up that like this is true. This is a real thing. The wounds are invisible, but they are very, very real. So yeah, I'm excited about some of the topics we have for this year and some new things we have happening this
Yeah,
year.
I think so. Season two, we're going to sit here and focus a little more on, because season one was more introductory, whereas season two, we can focus more on the after. What
Yeah,
happens after things wear off, like adrenaline. After, when coping stops working, because
I hear that a lot. That
it
doesn't
doesn't
work for me
work.
anymore.
Like, what else can
Yeah,
I do? When strength feels heavy.
yeah. Well, that's for sure. When you're doing it all, you can't do it all.
Yeah. Because,
You're not superwoman
but
or man. Sorry.
but there's so many people that I would even go into, like, and I hate using this word, and I know you hate this word too, the high functioning, but it does work in a lot of things, because like it's high functioning depression, high functioning anxiety, because we sit there and put on a mask and pretend everything's okay, and we bottle it up until it finally just pops off.
Yeah, the high functioning part for me personally is like feeding the perfectionism, and I'm an overachiever, and everything has to be good and right, and I'm on top of it, but all the while it's heavy. And then I crash out, and everybody's like, no kidding, huh?
We couldn't
Slow
tell why
down.
this was happening, because it's like, okay, I'm fine, oh, I'm so sick of that word, I am fine.
You know what I love when my patients come in and I'm like, hey, how are you? And they're like, I'm fine. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
they're like, I guess I'm not fine. I was like, can we just cut the shit and you can just tell me what it is first instead of like faking it? This is the one place you don't have to fake it. Just be like, it was a crappy week or it was a week from hell, right?
Yeah.
Like, just let's be honest. Let's just have those conversations.
Yep. I think
Societally, we're like, we have to say, well, I'm fine. How are you? We're not fine.
Yep. I think digging more into these themes like moral injury. What is that actually?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's become a word used more, and what does it actually mean? I think defining that this season is going to be a big topic. Um,
Yep.
One that you have been avoiding, and I have had it like at the top of our list, is burnout. Because you're like, can we not?
I'm not
Can we
saying
not do this? Can we not do this?
I'm not saying I'm burnt out, but I'm definitely tired. But that's also because I don't sleep.
You're like, I'm crispy. I'm crispy around the edges. It's okay.
It's a little crispy. Like Christina fussed at me last night. We were on the phone and she's like, you need to go to sleep. And I was like, I might. And she's like, go to sleep. I was like, we'll see. Good
No, it
night.
was the fact that while you were sick, you were aggravated that you were tired and your body wanted you to sleep. And you were like, but I am missing things to do while I am sick.
Oh, my microphone muted on its own. That's rude. I'm doing all the things. And if I don't, then I don't want to get behind because then it's heavy, bro. Right? Um, Grief.
Yeah.
I, I I think from a like
Mm-hmm.
therapist psychoeducational standpoint, I can't wait for that one just because I feel like that is pushed down even further than trauma stuff because, somebody dies, the funeral happens, and then everything's over and everybody's expected to go on. But then you've got the people that were closest that are really struggling. They're really having a hard time. And you're like, oh, well, you just need to get over it. Or it happened so long ago. People are still very much living in that. So I'm really looking forward to that one when we get to it.
Identity shifts. I really, want to get into this more because like it's so nuanced. Not just like the military shift of like retiring or something like that, but even like for our students graduating, getting your license,
Yeah.
what happens now? I definitely want to talk to like Haley now that she is getting her
Yes.
license and like the experiences that she had to go through to like grow an identity.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys are gonna love Haley. We need to have her on here because we talk a lot about her, but she's never been on here. Um, I love her so much, and honestly, at first I was like, I didn't know how she was gonna do, but she has turned out to be this phenomenal person that people seek out, and our patients love her. We love her, and she is just like a pure joy human. So I think, and she's all about life transitions. So she'd be like an awesome person to have on that episode to talk about it too.
Again, another one you're trying to avoid is the long-term cost of holding it together.
That's why I went silent. I was like, I'm not going to say that because I
Yeah,
can't.
because it's like I could see the ill on your face. You're like, no, I'm done with you.
I didn't look at this outline until today, and I didn't even fully like read it until now. So now I'm kind of regretting the fact that I didn't like send it back to you and be like, let's change this.
Yeah, you put me in charge of things, and this is what you get.
You know what's funny? We never officially put you in charge of it. You just like did it. And I was telling my mom the other day, I was like, she's like, how do you decide what episode? And I was like, well, last year we were just winging it, right? Like, I was like, but Peggy will just sit there when she's free, because like, what does that feel like? And just do outlines for the podcast. And she was like, oh, is that her job? I was like, no, she just started doing it. And me and Christina can't do it on our own. Like when we did that one for Taylor Foundation, I was like, fix it, Jesus. I sent it to you. I just can't conceptualize it like in just one sentence or a couple words. I have to like write a whole paragraph. So it just, yeah, pinky in the brain here. We're two peas in a pod. If it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be this. Um,
I needed
so yeah,
structure. I needed an outline.
I do love the outline because I get off topic quite a bit. And when it's the three of us, we definitely go off topic. So keeps us on task and giving the viewers what they are here to
Yeah.
see instead of just talking.
Yeah. Oh man. And then just going more in season 2, I think it's going to be interesting to like go start really getting into like the pressure to be okay this season because this has been last year was just chaotic 2025 in general and trying to maintain and build a persona around like we were the dog dog in the fire. Fine, it's fine.
I'm fine, that's fine. Well, we had a lot of like, I don't want to say weird things, but like the beginning of the year started out with a bang. We had lots of changes within our practice, and then me and Peggy taking on new roles, and then like students and just work life, everything was crazy. So I don't know if 2025 was like awful. It was just like chaotic and
Well,
crazy
because like
and just trying to
because
keep everything
it
straight.
was what we took on ourselves, all the outside crap going on, and it's like one thing at a time, please.
Yeah. I can't handle one more thing.
Because if I have to live through one more monumental thing in my life,
That's a full millennial struggle right there, right? People are like, why are millennials like this? I'm like, do you want to know why? Because we watched all these people die on live television as kids.
well,
And then it never stopped from
and what was
there.
it?
It
What
just
was
got
it like? We
crazier.
discovered what aliens, and then we're like, yeah, that seems about right. That checks. And we had no
The
response.
government's like,
We had no response.
surprise. Yeah, we're like, yeah, we already knew that. Can we have cheaper groceries and gas, please? Do I get to take the day off because we know aliens are real now? Okay, guess not. I don't care. We leave them in peace, they leave us in peace. We're all good. They've been telling us about Area 51 for what, how long? And the government's like, oops, yeah, they're real. No, thank you. Um,
Yes, I think really just emphasizing those cultural expectations in not just us, our first responders, our veterans, our healthcare workers, like those pressures to be
I do
okay.
feel like our veterans are getting better about that, but the first responder community is, we got to get them up here. Okay,
Yep.
we gotta get them up
Yeah,
here.
the
We're,
unspoken rule to like push through and stay functional.
yes. Because if you're not, then something's wrong with you, or you're not a good wife or a mom or a therapist or whatever internally. It's a struggle, or, whatever it is that you're doing. This one, these next two really get me. I just read them and I was like, ew.
Yep.
Why rest feels unsafe? Um, Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's why I can't sleep. I'm up all the time. I'm like, with the other night when I said that, I was like, look at all the time I'm wasting by sleeping, which sounds insane when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
But sitting still and doing nothing is super uncomfortable for a lot of people, including me. And then getting vulnerable and like admitting some of these things that you need help feels like failure. I was verbally accosted for, why can't you just ask for help? I was like, because I'm a failure. You're not, actually. That's a lie we tell ourselves, so we don't ever ask for help.
Yeah. Because it means you're human.
Can't do everything.
You're not a robot.
And if you're not taking care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then you're never going to get anything done.
I mean, it's the most cliche thing. You can't pour from an empty cup.
I never say that, okay? Because it makes me want to stab myself in the ears, right?
What is it? What does Christina say? It's like if you say live, laugh, love in a mirror 3 times, a therapist.
What is it?
Background.
I thought it was like a white girl in Ugg boots will show up to tell you how much she loves pumpkin spice. Oh man. I always say you can't, when you're everyone's anchor, you're actually drowning, right? Like, because I feel like that gives a much better visual than like pouring from an empty cup and all these things. You're not refilling your cup. I'm like, hey, you're holding everything down while you're freaking drowning. And then people are like, ew. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
All while we do it too.
Yeah.
We do it too. And then we were talking about this earlier. This says naming the gap, but just like recognizing and putting it out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? When Peggy calls me every morning and she's like, morning, dear. And I'm like, hey, right? And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm unwell. And some days I'm more cheery, but like, I don't feel like I have to fake it. We shouldn't have to fake it. Someone says, how are you? And you're like, I'm not well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about it, right? Like, I'm not well, but I'm working
But
on it,
that's
or I'm
the
getting
daily
through it, or
thing
whatever.
is to give a check-in. How are you? You're not good? Okay. I don't have
Yep.
to
And
have
then
her
like, what can
elaborate.
I
Yeah.
do if you need it?
Yeah. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
have to have her elaborate on it, but how are you?
I'm unwell, but we're functioning, which is still that push to not be a failure, right? You can say it, right? Society expects you to be like, oh my God, I'm fine. How are you? And be like, I'm not
What is
okay.
it? I am up and not crying is appropriate.
Right. Like, I have a little tiny terror that's almost 7. Oh my gosh, is he 7, 6 or 7? Look, I forgot how old he is
Ma'am.
now. There's 3. It's so hard to keep track. Who chooses violence daily. We were getting along so well last night. And then he woke up this morning like angry at me. And I was like, I don't know if you had a bad dream, but whatever happened wasn't real. Okay. Like, we were fine last night and now you're being mean to me.
Just a
So
little. Just a little.
just a little.
Guest. I can't wait for guests this season.
I know. I know. We had so many like on our list to like have as guest speakers throughout the course of the podcast that we haven't had on yet. And I have more lining up to come on here. So I am super excited
Because while
to have more real conversations.
I love talking to you. And I do it all the time. I do it daily, in fact.
All day.
Look,
If she stalks my calendar, I'm like, she saw my calendar.
well, there's something about having a platonic wife, okay?
Yes. Yes. Well, according to the guy at the hotel 2 Christmases ago, we're married, so there's that.
But we want to have more real conversations with people this season. More first responders, more veterans, more clinical partners, and just leaders. And I want to speak to anyone that wants to speak to us. So, like, if you want to talk to
Yeah.
us, feel free to hit us up too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've asked a couple of people over the last week or two, but I can't confirm, so I don't want to give it away. But from certain well-known organizations that could be joining us to talk about how they help veterans or first responders, or how they get involved with the therapy situation and all of that. So I am excited about that too, to hear their like the lived experiences that they have versus like the cookie cutter mold of like what people believe and think, and what is really kind of just like this stereotype.
And not to mention, it's like we have lived experiences, but we're not first responders. We're not veterans. We are the clinicians. While we have certain experiences that can attest to some things, it can't attest to all things.
No.
So I think it's so important to get their voices heard and to amplify some of these experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I always say, I'll never know what it's like to be a veteran, but I can sit here in this space with you and help you walk through it, right? And take that journey. So I think like owning that too is, because I think there's this stereotype that like unless you're a veteran, you can't work with veterans. And I feel like our practice alone has kind of proved that to be untrue, because we only have a few
No,
veterans
we're
now,
getting to be a good solid
right?
mix between our
What do
students
we
and
have?
now, because we have
Stevie,
Stevie,
Crystal,
Crystal, Christina,
Kylie.
Kylie, Tatiana is a veteran. So like we're at a good
Oh,
solid mix of
yeah.
veterans or military connected.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
loving
Well,
that.
that's all by design
Yeah.
anyway, right? Because the military has its own culture, and if you can't speak the language, then the veterans are kind of like not going to be able to connect with you. Um, the same thing with first responders, right? They don't have as much weird language and acronyms as the military does. But there are some things that they say and do where people are like, what? And if you don't have the knowledge, you're like, okay, I need you to explain that to me,
No.
which is fine. You could do that too.
Yeah. So
I want to hear people's stories.
real,
I
raw,
want Christina
truthful.
to do her. Yeah, I know we tossed that around last year with the sorry, my eyes are
Oh
watering.
yeah.
Um,
Fireside.
the fireside chat with the veterans, which we will not be on. Christina will be doing that on her own because it will be a veteran chat. But I can't wait for that one, because hearing like lived experiences and honest stories, and how some of it is all the same, but it's also very different. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I can't wait because
Like
it turns into
across
shop.
the
It turns
veterans.
into shop talk and more
Yeah,
stories, and
yeah.
it's gonna be so fun. Because I'm like, please don't let it just be Josh and a bunch of women.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, but I mean, when we were like, gathering up names and doing
Mhm.
that, I mean, it's hard to find the few women veterans that I reached out to very respectfully declined. I totally understand that, right? Um, because they were very much like, didn't want to share their stories given their experiences in the military. But I feel like we do need a good balance on that fireside chat, just to keep it, because Christina might end up being the only woman, or Josh might end up being the only dude.
And I'm gonna love it either way because then it all ends up on who's picking on who, and unfortunately, my husband's branch is always the one picked on the most.
The Coast Guard?
Look, it's the bastard kid branch, so they always get picked on.
See, I feel like Space Force is moving into that spot now,
Yeah,
right?
but they're
Like,
still like DOW. Sorry.
stop. Stop. I can't deal with any of that right now. Do you? okay, never mind. I will circle back to this later. I'm gonna tell you that later. I think it's uh, uh, other things that we're gonna be talking about this year is that like some of our stuff has been pretty clinical that we've tried to bring down to like, regular people level. And I don't mean that to throw shade, right? But if I started talking about, maybe like EMDR protocols or imago, which is such a weird word, but anyways, our listeners are not going to know that unless we give them the information. But it doesn't always have to be clinical. We can just have conversations about things that make it real and raw and have people feel heard or maybe they feel seen. I love it when people feel seen.
Yeah, I think that'll be very, I like breaking down the concepts into like real people speak. Because I try not to
Yeah.
even be overly clinical, like what in my sessions and stuff like that. Because like they'll look at you stupid and be like, "What did you just say to me?"
That always happens when you're talking about like trauma in the brain or trauma something, and you start talking about brain functions or like, structures, and people are like, I'm like, so you have this thing in your brain.
Oh no,
How much like,
I'm totally getting that little brain model that we saw from the training and be like, "I
yes.
want to break this up. Look at this brain. You see where it is?"
I love that when she pulled that out, immediately all three of us were like, well, shit, now we have to get a model brain. I still haven't ordered mine, but I am going to.
That's it.
Okay, I'm going to get me a brain. I mean, I have a brain, but I'm going to get me a model brain.
Yeah, but do you know how quick I went add to cart?
I didn't really like the ones I saw on Amazon. I did order a squishy one for the kids because it was like I could I'm finding more things for kids where like explaining trauma and like how their nervous system gets overload and how like developmentally appropriate. But I'm finding more and more resources on stuff like that, and I love it because I think kids get left out, right? It's very disenfranchised for them because it's like, oh, they're kids, they're resilient. Um,
We need to break down that word better.
yeah,
Because, like, why does everybody use the word? And maybe it's not being used in its proper context, also. Because I think now we're using words just to use words.
because they sound
Yeah,
fancy.
just like this word moral injury. I've seen this come up so much in the past 2 years, more and more. And that's why I want it defined. What is it? Why is
Yeah,
it being used the way it's being used? Nervous system overload. What does this actually mean?
right, right. And yes, yes. I was gonna say it, but I'm gonna save it for later.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going.
Well, trauma responses that show up years later. This is why people often think that they don't have like PTSD or it's something else because, like, well, shouldn't this have shown up like right after the event happened?
No, there's delayed onset.
Mhm.
And also that whole like trauma response, that's a very real thing, but it's also, again, never really fully defined. It's like that could be a lot of things. Peggy's trauma response might be very different than mine versus Christina's or Josh's or Tim's or whoever we're talking about, right? Like everybody has their own experience when it comes to that. So there really is no full definition except like, right?
Yep.
I think having good conversations that are not like wordy in terms of like, this is this, this is that, this is what we really mean when we say A, B, C, and D.
Why just taking a break doesn't work.
You know what my therapist said to me today?
What?
I was like, oh, I was sick earlier. And she was like, Brittany, I feel like every time you take time off, you get sick. And I was like, I'm leaving. And I remember Christina telling me that analogy of like, you see a deer that gets shot and it's running and running and running, still alive. And the moment it stops, it dies. She's like, that's your body. I was like, bye. Taking a break doesn't work like that,
Yeah.
right? It has to have like the intention behind it. And, it has to be repetitive. You can't take 1 week, an entire year, and be like, "This is my vacation," and think that you're going to be functioning well as a human for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen. That's why you stay sick. And because, wash your dirty hands. Okay, sorry. I feel like the experience of the plague just made me. I had to say it.
What healing look actually looks like when slowing down is hard.
Yes.
Oh, that one's gonna
Slowing down is
that
hard.
one's gonna get uncomfortable.
You and Christina should just do that one. You guys talk and I'll just sit uncomfortably in the corner
Why is that one gonna be like me by myself? Because she's also gonna be like, I'm not entertaining this subject.
she um she's a lot better than she used to be, I think, with that. Remember when she
Absolutely.
was like burning the candle at both ends, and now she's like, I've got it
We are
under.
all
For like what?
respectfully putting up good boundaries, like me taking off every other Friday, you actually taking off Mondays. Like, look at us growing and learning boundaries.
I'm not really off, right? Like I'm never really off unless I'm gone. You feel me? As the second in command. However, on Mondays I decided I was going to have like a very much admin day. So like if I needed to do things I could and also work too. It's also a very flex day. So I love that we're doing that. Also, we decided today we're setting this boundary with our caseload right now. We're good. We gotta chill.
Because we're taking on.
Peggy's the worst.
Shut up. I already said I'm not taking on any new people because we're taking on more responsibilities with students. If people get discharged, they get discharged. I'm not taking on more.
Yeah. And then stuff starts to fall like in the cracks,
Mm-hmm.
which is not fun either because you're like, oh crap. Haley asked me to do something like 4 times this week. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like I'll get it in a minute. And then today she's like, hey, just check it in. I was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay, I already did it. And I was like, I'm trash. And she's like, no, you're a busy human. It's fine. It's like, you know, you can't do it all.
We have some new things in the fire. If you weren't aware of it this week, a new release by Brittany was put on.
I cringe so hard okay, listen, I told y'all earlier about the outlines Peggy makes. I was trying to wing that on my own, right? Also, it's weird talking to yourself in here, right? I know I'm talking to the people that are listening, but in the moment, it's bizarre. I knew it was going out, and then I was sitting at the nail salon and I opened up Facebook and I was like, what is that? Um, just know the second episode is much more organized.
Yeah, because I wrote those too.
Yeah. Peggy assisted with the outlines for those, but it is Therapy Unpacked with Got Your Six, holding the line while holding the line with Got Your Six. And that is me doing a psychoeducational piece for people who are interested in that thing because I'm a teacher at heart. I think I even said that in the podcast. That I like for people to know things, and I feel like they feel validated when they understand things better in terms of this realm that we're in. And so I kind of pitched it to you guys, and we were like, "Oh, that's amazing! Let's do it." And then I had to come up with a bunch of topics, which was also a nightmare. But it's actually going to be series and like episodes within a series. So like right now we're on series 1, and I think there's like maybe 5 or 6 episodes to that, but they're much shorter and ideally to kind of hold you guys over and engage more people. So I'm super excited about it. And I think Christina has something in the works too, but I'm not entirely sure
Yep.
of
She has
what
something.
that's going to be.
She has something in the works, and I want to see little tiny hands being.
Okay, I love her tiny hand videos. Every time she pushes her glasses up on her nose, I just like fall out. It's so funny.
There is a specific one I want to see. I want to see a tiny hand on a pointer, like tapping a whiteboard.
Why a whiteboard? What do you mean?
I want to see her put informational stats up and be like, look, this.
Like that woman on TikTok that's like with the dry erase marker. She's like, y'all got me fucked up.
Yes. Not this.
Those 2 videos we did that went out back to back where I was like the spider on the wall with my favorite, TikTok sound. Like, you're going to look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm wrong. That's my favorite. And then Christina's with with that sound in the background. I don't even know what it's from, but he's talking about being gay, which is okay, if you're gay, that's fine. But that sound with her reaction was just like mint. I go back and just watch them all over again because they're great. And her Judge Judy ones are even. I'm like, how do you do that without laughing so hard? Because I don't know that I would make it. We got to get more videos going. I need to redo that other video I accidentally deleted. I was devastated about that one. She was getting ready to post it. She's like, "Did you delete your video?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Well, it's not here." I was like, "Oh no." I had props and special effects and everything.
Like I did it all.
Now I gotta do it all over again. That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, holding the line this season is going to have a different flavor, but we're still the same. Holding the line doesn't mean doing it alone. We're not going to ignore limits.
No.
Sometimes it means pausing.
Or asking for help.
I know. Sometimes it means redefining strength for the season of life. And that, I think, is a big thing. Different seasons are going to need different things.
I think that's another thing that, like, we will be touching on, too, is, like, how, I'm in a different season of life than this person or that person. And it might even be people that you're close to. And you kind of have, like, this internal experience of, I did something wrong or I'm not good enough or whatever, when really, like, my season of life with kids on the spectrum and this job and, all the things makes it very hard to relate to people who are not in that season doing some of the similar things, right? Even if it's not all the same. I think that's another thing to definitely put a voice to, too.
I have a lot of things, works in progress. I think that is going to be probably our biggest. Is we are a work in progress, always.
Yes. And we are also raw with it, right? I don't care if you're judging our podcast because you think our editing is not good, because Christina does an amazing job and she figured that out so fast. And like one of our episodes, it kept freezing on me, and then there was like 2 Kindles and I was gone and there was like 3 Peggy's. So like, we just roll with it because we want it to be authentic and real and raw every single time.
It's not about perfection.
No, we've never re-recorded a podcast episode, right? Like what you see on and what you see in here is literally what we did in terms of like the entire podcast episode. Christina just puts the fluff in the beginning and the end and takes out some of the silences, but that's okay. The rest of it is all raw.
Yeah. So it's okay that we're just gonna give ourselves permission to breathe this season. Not have all the answers, even though we're going to come with information. But if you have questions, hey, there's a nice little comment box here. Ask.
Yes. Or, right, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got the social email, at gotyoursixcounseling.net. The 6 is the word, bros and sisses. Send us some stuff. We check it. We see it. If you want to be on the podcast, you've got something to offer, let's go, right? We are not opposed to, I don't want to say anything, but we're open to most, okay? We're open to most things because, like we said earlier, we want to put words to it and feelings and make it real for people who may or may not.
We are looking at your comments. We are looking at feedback, all of the things. We want it. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. If you troll us, we might troll you back.
Yeah, right. And just know that if you troll and you comment and you're engaging, you're going to see more of our stuff, okay? That's called an algorithm. If you don't like what you see, just keep scrolling. You don't have to watch it.
You're allowed to have humor and mental health.
Absolutely. This work is hard, but we love it. We wouldn't do anything else, but we're allowed to be humans and we're allowed to laugh and have fun and be chaotic while talking about these very real issues.
Yeah. This doesn't mean how we show up in here is how we show up in session. Sometimes.
Not always. Depends on the person, right? maybe somebody I've been seeing for a very long time, right? But we're very professional human beings. If we weren't, we would not still be employed here. I can promise you that, right? Um, so if you have a problem with therapists being funny and laughing and having a good time, then maybe you should go see one. Okay, I'm done.
We want to remind you that strength and exhaustion can coexist.
Yes.
You can be tired and you can be strong and tired at the same time. It's just, look, we're all fighting the fight right now. I think it is just what we are in the winter. We are in the dead of the suck.
It is so cold outside. When I was like, every day I walk outside and it's cold, I'm like, I hate this season. Like, I am so ready. I'm so ready for it to be warm again because I'm tired of being cold in my bones. But I'm also ready to take that top off my car. Okay, like that. I miss that
I
so
need
much.
March.
I got cheated last year.
Yeah, I need March. Well, because
Yes.
it gets warmer for us way quicker than it does for you.
But then you're in Satan's booty hole of humidity and
You know
heat.
what?
So
I have AC for that, ma'am. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I don't have
that's
to wear
fair.
sweaters all year, most of the year.
I remember when you were moving, you were like, I'm getting rid of all my sweaters. It's too hot down there for sweaters.
Yeah, I wear them for 1 month and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I live in sweaters. I'm in a shirt right now for you guys, but when I'm finished, I'm probably gonna go put on a sweatshirt because my husband likes to keep the house like Antarctica. So, yeah, no, I don't want to be cold. I'm ready for warmth.
Yeah, well, I'm in menopause, so like I'm hot all the time.
You're a menopause cheater. I don't even want to talk about that. We're not even going there, okay? We want to invite you guys to stay. Stay and enjoy season 2. Stay and enjoy Therapy Unpacked and whatever Christina's got going out there. And my God, the video for my Therapy Unpacked had like 87 views. But you know how many likes it had, Peggy? 2 or 4. It was probably 2 when
Yeah,
I saw it,
okay.
4 when you saw it. And I commented, and I was like, how? How did 77 or 87 people look at this and then just keep going without hitting like? What? How? I am done being on Facebook and TikTok and giving people likes because I want them to have it. I'm done with that. I'm only liking things now when I want to, out of spite.
Need y'all to go like, share, and follow Therapy Unpacked, please. But also make sure you are liking, following, and engaging with our podcast. Please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm tired of dealing with her cranky butt.
I just can't conceptualize like how hard it is to like, oh, I'm watching this video and hey, these girls are kind of funny, so like let me like it. Oh, the next one was good too, so let me subscribe. Let me send it. Oh wow, play therapy. That's crazy. Like the stuff that they talked about. Let me send that to somebody who might actually need it. Share
Just
it.
please engage. Please, please. I'm tired of hearing her. I'm tired of hearing her whine.
I'll be so happy when we get more followers, right? Like we're getting there. It's a slow build, right? It's not going to happen overnight unless you're, famous, but maybe one day we won't be famous.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe not. Um, yeah. So please stay, watch our stuff, engage, and let us know if you have recommendations or you want to be here. You know how to get in touch with us. Again, social at gotyoursixcounseling.net. Also, you could just comment on stuff. Unless you're a troll, the door's over there. Okay. We don't want to hear it unless it's productive, right? Like you want to have a good conversation about it. We're here for that. Okay. We're all very argumentative. We got you. Probably should have been a lawyer, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready for this season. Yeah. Ready to see what we got and who's going to come and what's next, right? When I was like, let's do this podcast, I didn't really thought it'd be a thing. right? Because we joked about it
No,
for what,
the
like a whole
bright
year.
idea fairy hit you and you were like, I want to do this. And I'm like, okay.
We joked about it for a hot minute. I was like, we should have a podcast because we're pretty funny. And then we kind of like threw it out there and tested the waters with Christina because I know she rolls her eyes at us a lot because I'm like, hey, I have this idea. And she's like, okay,
Yeah,
great.
because the bright idea fairy keeps hitting you and you're like, but what about this? But what about this?
They're not bad ideas. They're just more work.
Mhm. And she's like, don't y'all do
Right?
enough? And I'm like, yeah.
No, no. Well, yeah, we do a lot, but slowing down feels weird. So we'd rather just overload ourselves instead. And this is fun. Okay, so it's fine. So every other Monday, Holding the Line OG is launched, right? Starting whenever this is, this coming up Monday. And Therapy Unpacked is every other Wednesday. Um, and I'm sure Christina will let us know what's happening with her stuff. But now you have something every week. I kept hearing people say, I hate waiting 2 weeks. Well, now you don't have to. Now you don't have to. So
Like,
we better get the same amount of likes
yep,
and shares and follows on both.
yep. Like, share, follow. We really enjoy just having y'all here.
Yes. We want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Holding the Line with Got Your Six, where we are just a bunch of therapists who talk about the shit nobody wants to talk about. We hope you got something useful out of it. Stay tuned for more of our upcoming episodes every other week posted to our YouTube channel, Holding the Line GYS. If you want to help support our podcast, please like this video and subscribe to our channel and share this video with others you think may get something useful out of it. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram where we will post useful information, dark humor, and more of the shit nobody wants to talk about. Go forth and do magical shit, everyone. We're so grateful for the people that have been with us this far. So we're looking forward to see how it goes this year. So thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.
We made it through an entire season and on to this next one.
Yeah. When we talked about podcasts, it was like, what is it, like a seven episode hump or something like
Yeah,
that?
they said if you can make it past the 7 episode hump, basically you fought the fatigue. And we
Yeah.
made it to season 2.
I mean, the fatigue is real, you
Mhm.
know, like because sometimes like for example, right now, you know, we're recording after, you know, I've worked today. Peggy had her Friday off, so we're, you know, but like sometimes we're recording and we're tired and, you know, we've had a long day and maybe we're hungry. But we're doing it because we love to do it. And we've kind of committed to this and now we can't stop because then that would make me a failure. So I'm just
You are
kidding.
not about to admit defeat on anything.
Never, ever. It won't happen. Okay. And if I do, you should probably record it because you'll probably never hear it again. But yeah, I like when we were doing the research for it, we were coming up with topics. It's like, we got to have a lot before we even start. So we started making topics and lists and like where we should go with this. And maybe this is a
Well, it's like,
series.
and
And maybe that's a
everything kept
series.
changing, and it's like, okay, well, we can do it like this, and we can do it like that, and like me getting involved, like y'all knew the minute podcast, like here, this is how we do it. This is what we need. This is what we need to do here, 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 here.
Right. Outline, boom, 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 spreadsheet, this script, blah, 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 right? Like she had everything taken care of, which is great. Peggy doesn't get enough thanks because without her, I don't know that we would just be in here winging it even worse than we already do. And people would be like, this is awful. What are they even talking about? My circumstantial speech about things. Now you got to bring me back around. So I'm looking forward to that and having also the supplemental stuff going on too. Weren't you talking about doing something? Or are you like, no, I'm not doing anything right now?
I think right now I'm gonna give it some thought and give it some pause, but I let you two kind of take the reins on some of it for a little bit before I add something else to my plate. I think I am full right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, you know, recording those, they're much shorter than
Yeah.
these, so they don't take as much out of me either. So, you know, I hope people are happy with what we're giving them and will be vocal to give us more feedback. That's not some of the feedback.
Good feedback. Even just recently, and I was like really shocked to see like people later came in and watched like a whole bunch. People that I've interviewed watched the podcast,
Yeah.
and that was like amazing to see, because they were like, this was some of the best they loved the content, they loved the banter, they loved to see that as a place to want to go work. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
loved hearing that in an interview.
I haven't heard that in an interview yet, but you're like front of the line there with the interviews with the students and stuff. So you get to hear it, but that makes me happy. And like I had a meeting with a guy the other day, and I was like, hey, he was a veteran too. And so I was like, you should go watch our podcast. Also, maybe come be on it. And he's like, well, I got to check with my people. And I was like, bet, let's do it. He's like, he pulled out his phone and was like, he's like, I'm subscribed now. And I was like, oh my God, yay, another one, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know. But, I'm going to start making like the stickers and magnets and just like plastering them everywhere around town. I told Christina I was going to get the little Jeep tags for the ducks. So when I duck other Jeeps, I'm just going to put the Holding the Line GY6 on there. Go watch the podcast. Also, you're welcome for the duck.
I think it has been a unique experience getting to do something like this, because like you see other people doing it, or you listen to someone else's podcast and you're like, I can do that.
In theory, you probably could, but it actually takes a lot of like prep and planning to get to the point where you're like ready to start recording. And then it's like the timing and the schedule and like working things out. Like, Peggy had the plague and then I had the plague. And then so, we don't want to record when we have the plague. Peggy sounded like Mickey Mouse.
I'm still sounding very manly right now.
You're getting a lot closer back to your normal voice. Timothy sounds like like a squeaky chipmunk. He's like, and I'm like, shh, just rest your voice. You're making it worse. Stop straining. I love it. I love it. Yay for this year.
Yep.
Out with 2025 and in with 2026.
It will get better.
Season 2. Let's go.
Let's go.